Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Kavalpreet, I'm with you. I'm taking your subject of PPL. So, first class of this subject we have already done. So, today I'm starting the second class. Let me share my PPT with you. I hope you all are fit and fine. So, let me share my PPT. Yes. I hope my PPT is visible to everyone. Yes or no? Tell me. My PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay. Okay. Let me start my lecture. Yes. So, in the subject of PPL, the topic we have a language paradigm, efficiency, and regularity, right? So, these are the guidelines. You are very much aware of these. So, here you can type your name with the enrollment number and program name on the chat box for marking your attendance. You can raise your questions not after the completion of the session, in between, also after every slide, you can ask the question if you have. Avoid posting irrelevant questions. Okay, so interaction with the faculty should be constructive. If you have any issues, you have a number and you can post your query to the LMS manager. Okay, very right. Everybody is like posting their attendance. Now come to the content part. What we are going to learn in this today's session. First, we have a objective, learning objective. Then we have a yes, like this. You can post your attendance. Very good. Now focus on the content. Later on, you can mark your attendance. Yeah. So in the learning objective, we are first. I'm in the content. I will explain you the learning objective of this chapter. Then we will move to the introduction part. Then programming paradigm, language and the paradigms, efficiency in programming, regularities. Then we will move to the summary and some review questions we have. So what is the learning objective of this unit? We will explain I will explain you the concept of language paradigm. I will list the different types of language paradigms. I will describe efficiency and their influencer of efficiency. I will explain the regularity and its influence on a code base, right? So at the end of this session, you are able to give the answer of all these four four topics. Okay. Now programming paradigm. In programming paradigm is an approach or a style. Just a second.
You copy that.
So much noise is coming. What happened? Okay, I'm sharing again just because of some noise. Yeah. So I was explaining to you the programming paradigm. What is the meaning of programming paradigm, right? In programming paradigm, if you have a in a programming paradigm means the structure. Paradigm means the structure. So the programming paradigm is an approach or a style of programming that dictate how the code is structured, organized, and executed. How the code is structured, organized, and executed. So code is your what? What is the meaning of code? Code means the set of instructions. Because always when you are making a program that is a set of instructions, it should be organized, it should be structured, and it should be executed properly in some of the style, like in a C programming. You want to execute any of the set of instruction either in C or C++, any of the paradigm, programming paradigm, you will follow it. So each paradigm often the distinct way to think about the solutions. They will help the developers choose the right style for different types of problems. So each paradigm is having a kind of solution of a problem. So developer choose the right style. Right style means the right programming, right language they will use it for. That will depend on the type of a problem. Okay. Now after programming paradigm, now come to the second topic, language and paradigms. So language and programming paradigm are closely linked because programming you can do it in any of the language only, right? So you cannot do the programming alone if you are not using any language in this. So programming is based on any of the language. So they both are closely linked. So programming paradigm define the methodology of for solving the problem. So programming only define us that how we will solve the problem by the language. What the language is. So programming is to be solve the problems. Then what language is doing? Like C, C++, Java, these languages provide the tools, syntax. They're providing the syntax to implement the solution following those paradigms, right? So here are the more detailed look at how different languages correspond to various programming paradigms. The first we have a imperative programming language. Second, I have a object-oriented programming language. Third is functional programming language. Fourth is procedural programming language. Fifth is declarative programming language. Sixth is logic programming language. Seventh is concurrent or parallel programming language. Eighth is event driven programming language. So these are the language and the paradigms we have. Is this clear? So after learning the language and the paradigms, so see every programming language is based on these particular language. So these like imperative we are using in C. So object oriented we are using in C++. So these are the different language correspond to the these different languages are correspond to the particular or to the various programming paradigms. For the programming paradigm, I have already explained to you. Is this clear to you? Kindly give me the feedback. Now, Sahani Kumar, my voice is not clear, beta. Tell me. I'm asking from all. Is my voice is clear to you? Is it audible to you? No other student is complaining for this, beta. Sahani, you just check it your system, your network, beta. Might be in your network problem is there. Rest any of no student is complaining about the voice. Yes, ma'am, clear, but can you explain why so many languages exist in universe? Okay, Mohit. No, beta, it's not allowed. Asad, Asad, beta, it's not allowed to use it a Hindi language, sorry. So I cannot even use the bilingual language, but I will try to use some words if it is not clear to you. Okay? Okay. Now clear, Zahani? Good. I'm taking your feedback so that you can also use English. Asad, I told you that we cannot use the bilingual language even. I cannot use Hindi plus English. I will use only English for the class. It's in the rules that we can only use English language. I will try to explain it the things in a simple English language. Okay, if you have any doubt in any word, kindly ask me. So like we have in the universe Hindi language, you tell me, Mohit Goswami, that we are using Hindi, English, Sanskrit. Why we are using these languages? If we have a Hindi language, then why we are using this Sanskrit, we English, uh, now that it started like computer languages also started. So you tell me why you are not using Hindi, why you started English and all in the universe. So bitter, because whenever the requirement comes or influence of the foreign countries has to come on the India, so the the languages are comes in the popularity. So those language come in the popularity, so that will be we are using in India. Okay, Shiv, if you're if it is not understood you, I will explain it again. कॉम्बिनेशन लिंक इंक्रीज के लिए, yes. So, so I'm answering this only the same in the same way as Hindi, English, Sanskrit. We are using the same way for the solving a problem. Like we have a many problem. Any of the problem is coming related to the languages or sorry, related to the this programming. We have introduced a new language. Like we have started with the basic C language. Then the things are with the C. It's the we are using the imperative language in this, so that ways we are not able to define our solution more clearly. Then we have included the object oriented language, so that is C++. We add the objects. As you will learn the languages, you will understand it that why we are using many languages in the programming. Now is it clear? Yeah, Yogesh, we have already started the class, beta. So these are, beta, let, okay, Mohit, if it is clear to you, beta, the languages like programming, we know that in a computer we are using a programming. Okay, but for programming, we need a language. Obviously, if we will not follow any of a particular language, we cannot define it. Like nowadays we are using Python. Why we are using Python? Where if we have a C++, Java, ASP.NET, VB, Visual Basic, many of the languages we have, then why the Python is so popular today nowadays? Because that is more easy to use it, it is Python is user friendly, and everything we are using it is in a simple English language. As the programming as many simple or user friendly as as it is developed in the India, or as it develop we are developed it for the computer, so that the user can understand it. Yes, easy to learn. Very good, Jent. So this is the reason only. So this is the how different languages correspond to the various programming paradigm. So these are the languages that we will use it in a different programming as per the solution of a problem. Clear? Now I am explaining what is the imperative paradigm so that you can understand it easily, that why I have considered many of the languages. Those who have not attended the first class, might be they are facing some problems or they will face some issues because you have not attended the first class. The base was there. So I have explained the base to everyone, and you people have not attended, so you have missed your base of the first chapter, PPL. Why we are saying this is a pre PPL? Why your subject name is PPL? Tell me, what is the meaning of this subject? Principle of programming language. Principle means, in if we are talking in a simple English, in the principle means Siddhant, right? So why we are using principle of programming language? So we have to be follow some principles, some standards we have to be follow for the programming language, because every programming language have their own syntax, their own structure. So we have to be follow the principle of programming languages. So this subject includes, not include only the C language. This subject is not include only the C++. We are not talking here about only Java here. We are talking about all the languages here in this subject. Why we are including all the languages? What is the base of all the languages? Syntax, semantics. Semantics means meaning of the instruction. So we are talking about all the languages and all the language structure here. So why we are using it? Why? What is the use? What paradigm we are? What structure we are following? So this language, imperative paradigm language, this imperative programming is a paradigm. This is a structure for focus of how to perform the task. This is how to perform the task by providing explicit instruction. Explicit means those we are writing explicitly, bahari roop se. So explicit instructions, not that the things will do it automatically. That is implicit. Implicit means those like if I am writing a plus b int c int a plus float b. So b will not, when the b will automatically convert it into int. So that is implicit. If I'm writing here int c, so that is explicit instruction. This also I will explain you in the coming topic of the unit. Okay. Yes, SQL also language, Nitin. I'm telling you, Nitin, when we called as implicit means the things will converted automatically. Explicit when we are writing with that data type int. So it is to be forcefully when we are saying the variable that you have to be converted into this particular data type. So that is we call as explicit instruction that change the program through a sequence of commands. So how to perform the task? By providing explicit instruction that change the program state through a sequence of commands. How to perform the task? Imperative programming क्या बताती है आपको? How to perform the task? In imperative programming, I will tell you, I have taken an example of C language here. So through that, the concept will be clear to you. In imperative programming, the flow of execution is controlled by loops, conditions, and the statement that modify the variable directly. So what are the key concept in imperative programming? We have sequential execution. Code is executed line by line. So in imperative paradigm, how we are executing the code? Line by line in the order written. What control structures we are using? We are using of loops, for while. We are using of conditions, if else, to control the program flow. So this I'm explaining with the imperative language with the taking example of C language. So here is an example of imperative programming in C. I told you where we are using this imperative paradigm in C language, in C programming language. So where we calculate the sum of the first 10 natural numbers. So this is the structure of C language. So you are in first semester or the first year of BCA. So your subject, in your subject, the C language is also there. Have you started the C language class? Tell me. C++ is non-imperative? Not yet. Okay. Unrelated thing from topic, but can you tell me how I take personal advice from you? I have lots of questions and doubts related to this subject. Tell me how I can try and take advice from you. But this is in this class only you can take your doubts. Personally, you cannot contact to me. You cannot connect to me personally. You can ask in this class only if you have any doubt. So all high level languages are imperative paradigm. Okay, Asad, I will explain you again. Let me complete the topic, then I'll give a overview of the topic again. Okay. Not all high level languages you can say, but C is the imperative paradigm that will be followed. We are using it. Okay. Now, but it is to be said that you are taking a doubt at the end of the class. But I am only that I'm taking only in my class only you can ask after every slide your questions, because I'm giving a time to the students so that they can ask the question just now after completing the slide. So if you have any doubt, you can ask it. Let me complete the topic and then you can ask. Okay, let me complete this slide. So what is the, so as you're, because your doubt is coming, the problem is your C language class is not started yet. So as your C programming language or C language, like the subject in your subject in your course or in your academics, the C language must be there in your uh, course. So in your course, when you will start start learning the C language, then the concept of this subject will be clear to you. So those knows the C language basics, they can understand the things what I am explaining here. So this is the structure of a C language. First of all, we need to include the libraries. So hash include stdio.h. Stdio means standard input output, and .h is a header file. This is a preprocessor directive. Hash include is a preprocessor directive. We always included in the starting of the header file. Then we have included the data type int, and then here you can use the void also. Main is the function. From there the main execution will start it. Okay, then we have int sum. Sum is a variable that we have initialized with the 0, and int is a data type. Int is an integer data type, so variable to store the sum. Int another variable. This is the counter variable we are using of a data type int, integer. So here I am using the for loop. See, when you will learn the C language, they will not always start with the loops, because according to this subject, I am taking an example only of a C language. So there you will go one by one. In C programming language, they will explain you step by step. But here I am taking an example. So here I am taking directly the example of a loop. So here I am using a for loop. The things that you want to execute it many times continuously. So for that, we are using the loops. In a repetitive mode, if you want to execute the instruction many times, for that we are using loop. What is loop that I am explaining to you? So for loop, I have initialized with the 1. So here I variable I have initialized with the 1, and I is less than equal to 10. Here I am writing is equal to, so this loop will go up to 10. If is equal to sign, I will not use it here. I less than 10 I am writing, then the loop will go up to 9. Then we have a increment variable, because one time the loop will execute for the 1. Then another time the loop will execute for the 2, 3. This condition will be checked again and again. So this is a loop from 1 to 10. So always we are adding the current value to I to sum. So sum plus is equal to I means sum, this you can write in this form also, sum is equal to sum plus I. So this line you can write down in another way, sum is equal to sum plus I. So sum value is 0 and the I value, first initial I value is 1. So first the sum will be 1, right? For the another execution, the sum value is the 1 plus I value will be 2. So the sum will be 3. So the print at the last, when you are executing like this, the print will be printf. Printf is a printf and scanf. Two function we have. Printf we are using for the printing, and scanf we are we are using it scanf function we are using it for taking an input from the user. Then we are using scanf. So in the printf we are using the sum is percentage d. D is we are using for integer. If I'm using here float variable, sorry, float data type, then we are using here percentage f. This is the identifier that we are using it for the data type. So the sum is including the integer value, so that I am including here percentage d, comma, some result will come. This will print the result. Yes, Hani. And here I am written with the main, I have written here int, so it is returning the 0. If I am writing here void main, then this return statement we will not use it here. Sani, I am just reading, explaining you. I can connect any student. Print the code logic, repeat again. I'm not getting your doubt, Sani. What do you want to say? Yes, this is a more simple language, but they see in every class, all the students are not same. All the students are not having of a same mind setup. Okay, because some are understanding the concept, some are confused that why we are learning this, why what is the use of this language, why we are learning, how we are writing this structure, how I have written this format. So you must have a doubt in your mind that why ma'am is written the C language here, because imperative paradigm is always to follow a language paradigm. So this, because here the code, see, about the two key concept I told you about imperative, sequential execution. Is any line you can skip in this code, or you have to execute line by line? Line by line. So code is executed line by line in the order written. So that's why we have used here the C as a language paradigm, imperative language paradigm, control structure. Or what we, another key concept we can use in imperative programming, use of loops, for while, condition, if else, to control the program flow. So program flow, to manage the program flow, we have to use these conditions and these loops. So these are the two key concepts we are using in imperative programming. And the same we have of these, of any problem, like we have a problem, we calculate the sum of first 10 natural numbers. So here we have a problem, we want to calculate the sum of first 10 natural numbers. So we have taken a C example here to solve the imperative programming by using these two key concepts. So just keep in your mind that in a simple way only I am explaining, beta, this paradigm, Mohit, that focus on how to perform the task. So these are explicit instructions. Everything I have mentioned it here. So these, beta, ये जो इंग्लिश में लाइन लिखी हुई है ना, ये स्लैश डाल के वेरिएबल टू स्टोर द सम, these are the comments. Counter variable, these are the comments that what every line represented in a program. हर एक लाइन क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है प्रोग्राम में, that I have written with this comments. So imperative programming is a programming or a paradigm that focus. This is a structure. Paradigm means structure. This is imperative programming is a structure that focus on how to perform the task by writing the explicit instructions that will change the program state. How the program state is changing, how they are adding the first 10 natural numbers by using the logic of this. The main logic क्या है इसमें? Sum is equal to sum plus I. So by using of these sequence of commands, we are focusing on how to perform the task. So our task क्या था? We calculate the sum of first 10 natural numbers. How we are performing it? By writing of explicit instruction, by the sequence of commands. So the flow of execution is controlled by how in imperative programming we are executing the flow or the flow of execution by using of loops, condition and statements. Because loop, condition and statement modify the variables directly. Variables क्या थे इस program में हमारे पास? Sum, I, these are the variables. Let me complete the topic, then you will understand it. Okay. I've already written an example only here, beta. What are the example I will write? Okay. Now, come to the procedure. Let me complete these all paradigms, then you will understand it, the things. Okay, let me complete it. So the procedural programming paradigm, now another paradigm, we have a procedural paradigm. This is a programming style where the code is structured around the procedures or the functions. In this paradigm, a program is broken down into the series of instructions. Series of instruction बोल लो या फिर इसको procedures बोल लो, that perform operations on data. Where we are performing the operations on data. So it emphasizes the sequence of actions to be performed. How the sequence of actions we are performing it step by step. After this unit 2, I will give you the overview of the chapter 1 also, unit 1 also. The thing, because many of the confusion you have in your mind, so the things will be clear to you. Okay? Okay, Mohit, thank you if it is understood to you. Okay. So in the programming style where the code is structured around the procedure or the functions. So in procedural programming paradigm, in a program, we are using a procedure or the functions. So in this paradigm, the program is broken down into the series of instructions or the procedures that perform operation on the data. So it emphasizes a sequence of actions to be performed step by step and is commonly used the language like C, Fortran, and BASIC. So now the procedural paradigm also we have. So these are the characteristics of a procedural programming that focus on function and procedure. Like I have told you the two characteristics of imperative. Imperative के बताए थे ना, sequential execution और control structure. So here we have a two characteristics of procedural programming is focus on function and procedure. So we are dividing the program into the small procedure or functions, and linear execution. Code is often executed line by line in a specific order. So these are the two functionality we have in a procedural programming. Next, we have a global and local variable. So variable can be declared globally or locally within the functions. So modularity, reusable code blocks can be created using the functions. So that is a modularity. So variable can be declared globally or locally within the function. Those variable we are defining inside the function that we call as a local variable. Those variables we are defining outside the function that we called as a global variable. Modularity, another key characteristics क्या होना चाहिए? Modularity. Reusable code blocks can be created using the function. Any function that you have made it in one program, that you can use it in another program if it is having the same functionality. So these are the key characteristics of a procedural programming. Okay. Yes, if you have you can note down this program that I'm explaining to you, and you can execute it if you have a C platform in your laptop or in your system. You can execute the code if you want. So use of loops and conditionals allow for repetitive and the conditional execution of code blocks. So here we have another key characteristics. We have use of loops and conditionals, right? Okay. So here is a simple example of C that calculates the area of rectangle. If you want to calculate the another problem, we have we want to calculate the area of a rectangle. So we will use a procedural paradigm for solving this problem. So this program follow the procedural approach by defining a calculate area function. So for calculating the area of rectangle, we have made a function calculate area that will take the length and the width as a input and returns the result as a area. Let's see, I'm showing you the example of this. So see, first of all, I'm including the header file. Hash include stdio.h. Stdio means standard input output. .h is the header that tells कि stdio क्या है, एक header file है. So that's why we have with this stdio I have written a .h. This is a function to calculate the area of rectangle. What function we have? Tell me the function that we are using in the area of rectangle here. Calculate area. And the data type of this function is float. So this is the, you can write this is a data type or a return type of a function is float, and the function name is calculate area. And these are the parameters we have. Float, we have taken a two parameters, length, that is also a float, width, that is also a float. Then we are returning what we are this what this function is returning. This is returning length into width. Here we have defined the function calculate area. Now in the int main, now we have started the main function here. Then now the program execution will start from the main function. Again, I am taking a data type int here. So return 0 will come, because whenever we are using here data type with the main function, we are using any data type like int, we have to be use the statement of return 0, that because that will return the value to the main function, the final result. So next we have a float length, comma width, comma area. So these three are what? Variables that we have defined in the main function. Prompt user for input. Now printf scanf. I told you printf is only for printing the things on the screen. Enter the length of the rectangle, and this you have to be put in the double quotes. Anything you want to print it on the screen, you have to put in a double quotes. And every line should be end with the semicolon. See here, variable, after declaring variable also we have used semicolon here. Otherwise it will show you the error at the time of execution. Okay, then as you are posting the your queries on the chat box, I will read it after explaining this program. Okay. Now why we are using scanf function? देखो बेटा, ये printf और scanf function that we have already defined it in the header file of stdio. So why we are including this header file? Because when you will use the function name printf and scanf, that is already declared in this function. So at the time of compilation, these function will not show you any error that where we have defined these. So these printf scanf function we have defined into the standard input output. So this is your standard output printf, and this is your standard input scanf function. So f we are using for, जैसे d we are using the last program for integer. Here I am using percentage f for float. M% is a M%. Why we are using M%? This is the address of the length. So in the memory, wherever we have a address, there we have defined the value. Because we people also we are staying on some of the addresses. So यहाँ पे जो भी variable declare करोगे उसको भी कोई ना कोई address चाहिए memory में. So here we are using the M% sign with the length. So this is the format. This is the way of writing the scanf function. Printf, again, we want to print it on the screen. Enter the width of the rectangle, semicolon, end with the semicolon. Then scanf, %f. This is the format identifier. That format identifier क्या बता रहा है हमारे को? That width is of float type. So that's why we have using a specifier here, %f. M% width. Width which means, tell me, this is the variable that is also store the value in some of the addresses. So that's why we are using here M% sign. This is the width से पहले ये जो and का sign लगाया, this is M% beta. We are calling it. Now we have to be call here that function we have defined it. The function definition we have defined it outside the main function. Now we are calling it here in the main function with the calculate area. Now calculate area by calling the function, and the result will store into the variable area. Whatever we have written in the right side, that their result will store it in the left side variable. So area is equal to calculate area. Calculate area कहाँ है? ये रहा आपका calculate area function. So what parameters we are passing here? Length, comma, width. So we have called, whenever this line will see in the main execution of the, देखो program की main execution कहाँ से शुरू होती है? जहाँ पे main function लिखा होता है. So when it will be started, this line will be executed one by one. After this, this function name will appear, they will check it in the program के कहीं wherever we have defined it, any of the function with the calculate area. Yes, we have checked it. Here we have. This we have calculate area. So this will be called when we have this line will call this function. So it will return the result. Like I've given 20, length 20, width 30. So it will return 600. So 600 area will come. So display the result. Printf will return the result. The area of the rectangle is that comma area. Okay. So this will return the 0. In procedural programming, breaking down the task into the reusable function. So now this function is reusable. You can, here we have used for the rectangle for calculating the area. The same we will use it for, this is the area of rectangle. We can, here we can calculate the area of a circle also. Only we had need to change the logic here. Rest things are same. So here the breaking, why we are breaking the task into the reusable function, so that the code are more organized, easier to read and simpler to debug. देखो imperative paradigm में क्या था? The things are in only sequence. We are not using any of the function. But procedural paradigm ने क्या किया? और काम आसान कर दिया. They told you that you can make a procedure or a functions, and that is reusable, right? So that is procedural paradigm. Now next we have a functional paradigm. Before that, I am just reading your queries. Main is the entry point of the program. Yes, Ani, very good. This is good point you have noted down. तुम समझ पा रहे हो इसलिए बोल रहे, दूसरे को समझ नहीं पा रहा होगा तो उनके लिए that is basic है. This is simple program, ma'am. Try another. Python available in my device. Okay, Shiv, Python is available in your device. So for the next class, just to store, why we use return zeros function. Return zero is not a function. Return statement I will take that we are using when we are with the main function. If we are using any data type like int main, I'm writing. So this line is important because this will return the result at the end to the main function. Why we are use return zero? This I have already explained to you. If return 0, then program success. If return 1, then program error. Yes, 0 and 1 that we are using it, but here we are not using 1. We are always return 0 if we are using with the main function. You can write down void main. When you will attend the C language class, whosoever will teach you, they will explain, they will clear these concepts. But I am just giving you the overview of this, that the return statement, we are including it when we are using the data type with the main function. But you can use the void main. When you will write the void means returns nothing. Void means returns nothing. So if you are writing void main, then you need not to include this return statement in the program at the last. Is this clear? Yes. Okay. But rather than talking to each other, you can talk to me and I will solve your means no return any type data. Yeah, Sani. See, this is not a basic. You think that ma'am is explaining the basic. I know this is a programming concepts and this is new for you. The things will be clear as you will attend the more classes. Okay. So things will be more clear to you when you will attend the more classes, or I will cover more unit of this subject. So from the first unit, second unit I have started it today, and many were absent in the first unit time. When I was explaining the first unit of this subject, many were absent. So I have started with the second unit, but I will try in the coming class. I will start with the first unit again. I will give you the overview and then I will continue with this. Okay, because every language is having their own syntax. So C ka alag syntax hai, C plus is having a different syntax. So every language is having a different syntax and semantics. So here we are talking about every language syntax and semantics. Why? So this subject is including all the languages. So you will only learn the basic of languages here. You are not learning any one language properly here. So don't think that कि मुझे ये C नहीं समझ में आ रही है, I am not able to understand the C++. What ma'am is right, taking example of Python, ma'am is taking example of or the function name of other another languages. So don't be confused. In yours, like you are in first year, you have to learn only the C language here, or might be in your course if any other language is there, that is language you will learn it properly. So properly language you will learn in your course, whatever the language you have in your course, so that you will learn. This is the subject of PPL. There we will learn the concept of a programming language, why we are using it, what is the purpose, how they are solving the problem. So try to learn the things according to that only. Check, set your mindset according to that. Don't think that ma'am is explaining any of the language. I'm not explaining you any of the language concept here. इस mindset के साथ if you will attend the class, then you will learn the things. And if you will see that others are saying, okay, yes ma'am, we are getting it, and another are not getting it, so you are not fighting it here. Okay, try to understand the things in a one class. You cannot, some are not able to understand the concept. So might be in the, when I will cover the 2 3 units, then the things will become in your mind. Okay, so these are the things that we have to be learning this particular subject. Are you getting it now? No worries, Mohit. This is my duty, beta. I'm here for taking your. I'm here only for taking your doubts, beta, and for explaining the concept. If your questions are silly, still I will answer you. But I cannot just justify you on that terms that these concept is properly programming based. No, we are discussing the concepts here as an example. Otherwise, these concepts I can explain you with the theory also. I will read only the what is functional paradigm, that's it. I need not to include the programs, but I'm including the program here. I'm with every paradigm I have included the program of any of the language. किसी भी language का मैंने program include किया है as for explaining the paradigm कि how the functional paradigm works. Like I have explained you how the procedural paradigm works, right? Otherwise, in this subject, no these concept, no programming is including as much as I have included an example here. But every this is on LMS persons, how they have scheduled it. So every day we don't have a class. Every week we have. What you are talking useless here? Yes, issue. We are also planning that I will talk to them that they will include more classes. But every week you will attend the class of PPL. Okay, of every subject. So the time is over today. Like five we have. So next week I will join on time, and you people also come on time, so that we will utilize the complete time, and we will complete the topic properly. Or I want to be complete one unit at least in a one lecture, so that we can complete it all the units on all on time. Okay. If you have any doubt or any no, I cannot disable the chat because I'm taking your doubts also. So that's why in the first slide, I told you don't write the unnecessary things here. This is a chat box only for me. So we can contact with each other with the chat box. Okay. Not for another purpose. You cannot talk to each other. You just talk to me if you have any query. If you don't have any query, you don't write it anything. So thank you for attending the class and for listening to me. So I will meet you next week. Yeah, but I'll try to attend more. I'll try to take more classes, or I will talk to them if they will provide you more classes in a week. So, but just now, though, they have just decided in a week for every subject we will get a one class only. Okay. Manoj, I will take your doubts in the next week. Thank you so much for attending the class. Bye bye, everyone. Okay, bye. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. PPT they will share with you on LMS. They will collect from us and they will share with you. You will get it from the LMS. Next week, Jishu, next week you will get a class.